Hello everyone. This video is brought to you by Gia Online Education. In this video, we will study about acid, bases and salt. This is the second chapter of chemistry, class 10. So let's start the video. What are acids? Acids are the substances that releases hydrogen ion in water. So acids are the substances, or we can say they are the ionic compounds which ionizes to release proton when dissolved in water. So what is the definition of an acid? An acid is a molecule or ion that act as a proton donor. For example, HCl, when treated with water, it releases proton. And this proton combines with water to form hydronium ion. So hence we can say that acids are the ionic compounds that produces proton when dissolved in water. So for the production of proton, water is required as a medium. So what are ionic compounds? How do we define them? Compounds that contain positive or negative ions are known as ionic compound. So, acids are also ionic compounds. They have a tendency to donate proton in presence of water. Now let us study how do we name acids. Every acid has a common hydrogen ion, whereas it has a different anions that are negatively charged ions. So when hydrogen combines with halogen, then suffix "ic" is used. For example, HCl. HCl is named as hydrochloric acid. Here, in hydrochloric acid, the suffix "ic" is used. Now let us take second type of acid. If in an acid, hydrogen is combined with a polyatomic ion that ends with ate, for example, phosphate, nitrate, in such condition, again we will use the suffix "ic". For example, HNO3. Here hydrogen is combined with a nitrate ion, which is a polyatomic ion. So here we will name it as nitric acid. Now let's take third example. When hydrogen is combined with polyatomic ion that ends with "ite", in such condition we will use the suffix "us". For example, HNO2. Here hydrogen is combined with nitrite ion. So we will name it as nitrous acid. Here suffix "us" is used. So these are the way through which we can name the acid. Let us sum up all the ways together. When naming an acid involves a polyatomic ion, if the ending is "ate", then we will use "ic" as a suffix. If ending of polyatomic ion is "ite", in this case, we will use the suffix "us". For example, H3PO4 is named as phosphoric acid. Here the phosphate ion is used. In the second example, H3PO3, the name of the acid is phosphorus acid, whereas the ion which is used is phosphite. Classification of acids. Acids are classified into two different types: mineral acids and organic acids. Organic acids occurs naturally. For example, citric acid, lactic acid, tamarind acid, etc. Whereas mineral acids are prepared from minerals. For example, sulfuric acids, nitric acids, hydrochloric acids. There are a number of mineral acids around. Now, what are bases? Base is a molecule or ion that act as a proton acceptor. So the definition of base is just opposite to the definition of an acid. How do we define an acid? Let us take an example. Here, HCl is an acid and ammonia is a base. Why? Because ammonia has accepted a proton from HCl. So HCl has released a proton, hence it is an acid. Ammonia has accepted a proton from an acid and is converted into ammonium ion. So it is a base. Base are again ionic compounds that produces hydroxyl ion when dissolved in water. So here there are two definitions of bases. Number one, bases are the molecules which accept proton, or we can also define bases as the ionic compounds which when dissolved in water releases hydroxyl ion. So hence we can say that bases are also ionic compounds. A soluble base is termed as alkali. For example, NaOH and magnesium hydroxide. So all bases are not alkali. but all alkali are the bases. Conjugate acid and base pair. Let us first learn the definition of conjugate acid. Conjugate acid is a species which is formed by the reaction of a proton by a base, or in other words, we can say that the base with hydrogen ion added to it. So conjugate acid here in this equation is this. It is a conjugate acid. It is formed by the addition of hydrogen ion. This hydrogen ion is replaced by an acid. Now let us study about the conjugate base. A conjugate base is formed by the removal of a proton from an acid. So this is a conjugate base which is formed by the removal of a proton. A conjugate base of an acid is that acid with a hydrogen ion removed. So in this equation, Ha is an acid, H2O is a base because Ha has donated its proton to the water, whereas water has accepted a proton from an acid, that is Ha. By accepting a proton, water is converted into conjugate acid pair, whereas by release of a proton, acid is converted into a conjugate base. So here in this equation, Ha and A negative is acid base pair, whereas H2O and H3O positive is a base acid pair. Such pairs are known as conjugate acid and base pairs. Thank you.